The endless pursuit cycle explained. So, I wanted to jump on today and just explain a little bit about what the endless pursuit cycle is. So, if you're a high performer, business owner, salesperson, or simply find yourself stuck in a cycle of constant overworking to avoid or distract, this video is for you. So, one thing I see a lot with business owners, high performers, salespeople, and ultimately people that are working in a high performing environment, they tend to have an insane work ethic, and that's cool. I just want to be clear that I'm not here to remove that at all. Um, this is actually a good trait for most business owners and high performers. But sometimes this can be detrimental to someone's growth. For example, a current client of mine, or most of my clients actually thinking about it, they build a big business based on or achieve great success in their professional life based on the initial emotional wound, so to call it. And I don't mean an emotional wound as big T trauma. It can be little t trauma. It can be an initial insecurity, an initial fear, an initial lack of confidence, lack of self worth. There's just this initial discomfort that one experiences. And this may be lack of self worth, fear of failure, like the list can go on. And this breeds an insane work ethic. This breeds a big business growth, all of these things because they have to go and prove these people wrong. They need to build a big business to prove to people that they are worthy or that they are successful or whatever that looks like for the specific individual. But this only lasts for so long because their insane work ethic is fueled by dark energy, I like to call it. It's fueled by an initial emotional barrier. And that's great to build a good big business, right? To be a high performer, not taking that away. But being busy but unproductive, that's the issue here. Then after a busy day at work, instead of unwinding by going to see some friends or going to some yoga, because I love yoga, or going to the gym or cooking a nice meal or whatever that looks like, they pull the pack of beers out or they pull the bottle of wine out and unwind, forgetting about the day, forgetting about the stresses, forgetting about business, work, and life in general. But this doesn't last for long because I'm sure some of you that are watching this video are aware of this because you're more than likely experiencing it. This doesn't usually end well. This can lead to a crash in the business, a crash in personal life, feeling low on energy, down, anxious, constant avoidance of one's feelings. There's lots of different side effects, so to speak. I'm here to remove the dark energy and increase productivity and income whilst reducing alcohol and cocaine use. Here's how. In the subconscious reprogramming system, we work together to clear the initial trauma, big T or little t trauma, that is fueling this insane work ethic, but also the mild addiction that's just running in the background that you kind of know is a problem, but it's not a problem. Someone that I coach actually told me that there's a saying called middle lane drinkers, that these people are. They're just kind of cruising in that middle lane, just coasting, and it's not really an issue. Maybe it's a couple of beers a night and it's not really like that big of a deal, or not really having that big of an impact on their life. But deep down, they know it's a problem, and avoidance is easier than admittance. So I'm here to clear that in my first phase, the subconscious reprogramming system. And by working on that initial trauma, that initial insecurity, that initial emotional wound, like whatever that looks like, you begin to feel a lot calmer, a lot clearer, more productive in the office and in the working space, which actually increases income, it increases enjoyment, and increases productivity, which then decreases alcohol and cocaine use. And it really can be that simple. Like, that is simply all it takes, is the admittance of one's barriers. So if you're watching this, I encourage you to reflect, to go inwards, to understand, is this mid-lane drinking or cocaine use a problem? I speak to tens of people every week, probably nearly in the hundreds, and there's a theme that I see. And the theme that I see is the people that I speak to normally go out a couple of times a week. And this couple of times a week's not really that big of a problem right now, because they're getting by, they're high functioning, they're working still, and everything's pretty good. But they're scared and worried that their addiction, so to call it, is getting worse, is going to get worse. And that's what they're worried about. So if you're watching this and you're thinking, well, it's not really that big of a deal for me right now, Jake, that's cool. But what about in 6, 12, 18, 24 months? Is it still not going to be a problem then? So I want you to reflect on that, and feel free to drop me a message on Instagram at the Jake O'Connor _. Message me on LinkedIn, Jake O'Connor, and just connect and talk to me and tell me, where do you see yourself in 6, 12, 18 months? Do you see yourself still not being a problem? Or is it? Or will it be? That's the real question to ask. So go deep within yourself and you'll find the answer. If you want to steal my exact 3-step framework that I take my clients through to break free from addiction, any addiction, whether it's mild, moderate, or severe, go onto my YouTube, which you're probably watching this on, or Spotify, and it's called the 3-step framework that I use to break my clients free from addiction. Give that a watch and let me know kind of what comes up off the back of watching that. That explains in depth like what an addiction is and kind of what's happening and stuff like that. So yeah, peace out.